So I will do a very brief introduction. So Professor Sulejmani is a historian, as well as for many years he's been the assistant to Baba Mundi, who is the leader of the Bektashi community worldwide. Baba Mundi is based in Albania, but Arben is living in Macedonia and is the chair of the Macedonian Bektashi community centered around the Teke in Tetovo, which some of you who've been to our conference in 2016 have, of course, seen. Once again, apologies for the delay. Now we can start. Hopefully it goes well from this point. Thank you.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Yes, we had difficulties with electricity and something wrong here. So I apologize for not getting on the time. Also, this pandemic is making available situation to talk in this way, and I hope that you all have good experience, and I hope nobody have bad experience from this situation. And also, I wish all the best to you, to your families, and people who are around you. As a week ago, we decided to talk a little bit about Bektashis and what Bektashis and IARF are doing, how we were doing, and what can we learn all from this relation, which is very
No sound.
I'm sorry, Arben.
okay. No problem. You got me now?
Yes.
Okay. So this is a long journey. Freedom of religion is a big issue, especially in these moments when big, let's say, big communities or religions are trying to avoid or to crash the small ones, which is very unfair, legally, very unfair, humanly, and very unfair religiously, because everyone has rights to believe in own way. And we as Bektashi, we had faced these problems for a long time. And many years ago, especially when was IARF conference in India in 2010, we had chance one meeting in Macedonia to meet Jutske, and then we start to work a lot closer with issues in UN. And you can imagine, we came from Balkans, and UN was for us just a thinking paper to read. And not that UN has different channels, different ways that we can raise our voice, that we can do a lot, not only for Bektashis as community, but also we can learn, and learning is good that we can share with other communities. So that what we have passed, it is going to be easy to help anyone who will be in the same situation or something similar. Of course, that couldn't be happened if IARF was not ready to help, ready to work together. And many of you, as I see few of, even I didn't have my glasses to see everyone, but I will use later to see who is in this meeting. But I saw that there was Derek, I think. And we had big issues to deal in last conference in Macedonia, and we had chance to see through Albania on visit. So it was combination that we could learn, not only for Bektashis, but also Bektashis could learn from 26 other countries or 26 other people who are specialized. So this is very, very strong issue that IARF is doing, but also we have to work a little bit more on that to bring our communities together, to bring our ideology, our ideas, because being together is a strong voice. I remember after Tetovo conference of IARF, the American ambassador, he said, "Whoa, I couldn't believe that you guys are even further than we." I said, "Why?" He said, "Because you are making a conference to prevent, instead of, you are making to prevent, how to prevent scandals or fights or anything what is crashing through civilization, culture, religion, ethnicity. And Macedonia needs that." And he said, "We are all diplomacies here, every embassy. Nobody did that before." So you can imagine how strongly we can work and we can do more. Sometimes we are referring and talking on what we did, but the best is to talk what we can do for tomorrow. Of course, we have to always think on what we did, because that's something that keeps us together. And Bektashis were very pleased as a headquarters that IARF was always next to us. That's why in every important thing that we had internationally, we always called IARF to be part of, because we wanted to tell the world that, you know, IARF is one of the oldest NGOs or organizations who is from 1900 and still is strong, and we are doing great job, because bringing people from different countries, from totally different religions, totally different way of belief or way of religion, but we have one thing in common, and that's that we are always focused on making the issues strongly, correctly, that everyone, even if there are 10 people, we will help them. Or even if there are 10 people, they are not 10 people, they are also with us, or our voice will be there. And this is something that makes IARF different from other communities, because in IARF IARF doesn't see only interest of one religion or one. No, we see interest of anyone who have need. So this is totally different from big organizations in world who maybe have big influence and they work, but IARF needs to be even stronger now. And I think that after pandemic, we had chance to see that even those big ones, big communities, they were same like us. They were very weak. They didn't have those commodity. They didn't have rights like sitting on first line and we had to be on last line, or the ones who could enter to any event and we had to see if there is place. So now we were very equal. We were under same God or under same will or under same need. Each of them was very, very, I mean, the balance, instead of always they were high, we were down. But now in this pandemic, we were very equal. And we saw that they needed little way to see what it means that you don't have rights. Let's say no one had right to go to church because of pandemic. And before it was, we didn't have rights to go and they had rights. So now they can see how it is to be weak, or how it is to be stopped to do something. So I think that we have to use now very good strategy, and that strategy will need a little bit more time. Also, our friends and people from IARF who are experts on different fields to bring the ideas together and to make something stronger. And I think that with very short periods, we will make IARF even a lot more known. Let me just tell you that last October, it was not October, it was somewhere in November. I was in Washington, D.C. with a group of different religions from Macedonia, and that was a program from State Department. And we saw 5 different states of US and country. We've been from DC to Los Angeles and San Francisco. And it was interesting that a person who was doing everything under control of, they were doing our logistic, where we will see it and what we will do. In one moment, he said, "Oh, I know your name." I said, he said, "My wife, she knows your name because she was connected. She is very close to IARF." And it was like, for me, privilege that a person who is the one who is organizing is just seeing my name, and he say, "Oh, I know that you are with IARF." And this is something that makes us as IARF very, very, very strong. And I think that we can use these chances more and more if we are more not active, because all of us, we are active in one way. But if we make a new strategy, and that strategy, I think that I had a few times I spoke to Lucas about how that can be. And all of us, we have to bring ideas there. And this can be very good for next step, because making a conference is going to be in Budapest. That's one thing, like it was in Tetovo, like it was in Poland the other, then whatever. I didn't have chance to be in DC this time in Congress, because I had other things to do that period. But still, always we are ready to do. And if there was not a very good combination, I think that we as Bektashi, we wouldn't succeed that much. Internationally, I'm talking, because Bektashism is not something that was made from me or from Baba Mondi. It was made 800 years ago from our founder, Haji Bektash, and we still work and do on way how Haji Bektash has made the same rule, the same principle. But with IARF, we saw something else. Let me just show that Bektashi community in Tirana, the headquarters, when you ask in Albania, Kosovo, and Macedonia, hey, what do you like? They say, oh, we like the way how you make celebrations and how you make cultural programs. And of course, we saw that in India, first time in 2010, how IARF did. So we are making part of that. And that makes a lot. I remember Morse Flores was then. I said, I think that we love this way to do, and we will do. So having in our culture, in our tradition here, and also in my language, Albanian, we say that if you have a friend, it means that you have a house. If you have somebody in one state, it means that you're not over there, you're not foreigner, because you have your home. Because friends are also presenting your family. So we are a large family, and we have to use the chance in this large family to work and to do more as a responsible family is doing. To start parallelly to help someone who is in very need, and also on strategy in both sides. Because if we just see over there someone who needs just, and if we don't have strategy for tomorrow, that's gonna cut us. And I think that here we have to watch out more, to open our eyes and to so I think this is more or less. I know that there is going to be questions and things, so I will just make a last sentence, and then I will let Lucas to organize the questions and things. So let me ask you guys that any one of you, if I was not connected to IARF, would you know about Bektashis? I think that rare, or some, or nobody.
Not at all.
But now with Bektashi, with us, that we worked together, it is a great chance for Bektashis to be in Europe, in other places, more known, not only for that we have difficulties in Macedonia, but also for that okay, that's something else. It's not a regular Islam or traditional Islam, or Islam who is radical or whatever. So there is always a good window. So that window, I think that wouldn't be known if we didn't work. But I'm very much sure that if we worked a little bit more, we would know more. So this is... So Lucas, I think that...
yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Arben, for this short reflection. And please, if anyone wants to speak, use the raise your hand option in Zoom. You will find it clicking on the participants icon on the bar that you have there on the bottom of the screen. When you move your mouse, there is participants. And at the bottom of the participants window, there is a button called raise your hand. Please use that to indicate that you want to speak. And then I will call you, and then please unmute yourself. I cannot unmute you now, unfortunately, because Zoom changed it, and so you have to unmute yourself. Pejman, please go on.
Yes, my question is that what IARF can do for a Bektashi community with regard to general consultative status at the Economic and Social Council of United Nations?
We have never been registered in UN as as to have a person. So till moment when Morse Flores was there, he was helping us always to get on every need what we had in Geneva. But of course, we need a lot more. And whenever it is a conference or when is something with special rapporteur of religious freedom, when is something about new law or new chances to show there and to make the Bektashi situation more known, because you guys, I mean, the Bektashi community had won the case against Macedonia in Strasbourg. ECHR have given full in that Macedonia on 3 cases have lost, but still Macedonia didn't implement that. Still we are not registered in Macedonia because they are trying to find a way, but it is just to win on time. So with UN, we need to work on that issue too. And also maybe we will start I know that it works like 2 years to be registered there as a special status to have that. But of course, with your help, I think that we can do that too.
Yes, and of course, IARF is always ready to give access to Bektashi representatives to events, because we can appoint ourselves, being recognized as an organization with consultative status. We can appoint representatives, also temporary representatives for events.
Yes.
So we are doing that.
Yes.
We can always do that. Jarek, could you unmute yourself?
I didn't know I'm the first one. Thank you, Arben, for your for the inspiration you gave us, because it was very inspirational what you said, and actually I really wanted to start. It's actually more a comment than a question. I wanted to start with a phrase which Arben will recognize very well. And it's, I have plunged water drops from all springs. It's a fragment of a poetry I got from Arben a couple of days ago. And you know, what I think, what's very important, this crisis made us more equal. We have the same problems. We have also the same problems as the bigger communities, and we have the same opportunities as well. One of the opportunities is internet and using Zoom and other features. And what I would like to IARF to do is to be more a meeting place of ideas. Everyone present here has his or her own tradition, his or her own ideas, prayers, stories, and so on. How could we help all those sometimes very little stories to come together? Because that's what I miss in the IARF. I know people, I recognize faces, but I still did know very much about many traditions you represent. When I thinking about Japan, I would like to hear more about the world view of a Japanese Buddhist or a Japanese Shinto believer. I know more about Bektashi because I went to the Balkan and to Macedonia and to Albania to in order to meet them. But we can be a meeting place. We are not only maybe we are in the first place about the freedom, religious freedom, but we are also about the religion of freedom. And I would like to hear from you, from Arben today, from other people on other days. What is the freedom in your tradition? What is actually the real value of your tradition for your work, for your activities? That's what I think it's very, very important.
Thank you very much, Jarek. Arben, would you like to react shortly?
Thank you, Jarek. You just raised a very, very important thing. Freedom has inside a lot. As Bektashi, we don't see freedom that it is freedom, you can talk whatever you want, but freedom with responsibility together when you talk. Usually when we see a traditional Islam, and many times Baba Mondi is answering, saying, why people are putting rope under their neck when they were born free. So a person with a narrow mind, he is putting himself in tunnel because it's not wide, there is no. So freedom in Bektashism, we don't see freedom that you can do whatever you want, or my religion is saying that this is and finished. No, freedom is to be together with people and to act enough to make everybody there at least happy, or to make them to feel good with that what you are offering as a religion. So let's say in Bektashism, when we say, yes, let's drink a raki, we don't say that it's freedom to get drunk. We say it's free, or with freedom we can drink, we can toast, we can enjoy. When we say that we are different from traditional Islam, and we say that our ladies are free not to have scarf, that doesn't mean that they are free to disuse that, because we don't see scarf as, we see just as a fabric. We don't see scarf as something that is religionally, or that's part of religion. We see that just, but we cannot offend the ones who have that. So we don't have that freedom to say, you know what, that's wrong. We can just talk for us, trying not to hit others. Also on religion for freedom, I will just quote. There was Queen's University of England, and then many people with PhD, they came in Albania. So in my speech, I had one line that everybody was interested. I said, the Albanian intellectuals who made Albania, they made a country where any religion is welcomed. Not one religion to be part of country. And why it was that? Because those founders was Bektashis. So they saw that freedom of religion should be there to help the nation or to help people together and to make good things. It is not freedom of religion to be that, you know what, I am the boss of everything because God is only mine. As I had chance to see in Montenegro once. It was a Serbian priest, and I didn't know that that was a Serbian priest, so it was in Montenegro. So I said, I spoke in Montenegrin with Montenegrin accent, said, oh, I'm very happy to see a Montenegrin priest. He said, God didn't say that Montenegrians has church. This is Serbian church. So he see that there is not freedom for other religions. So I totally disagree with people who are representing religion and they don't see others to be included, but they see only themselves. That's one thing. Also, it is very much important that people have to be our people. When I'm talking for Bektashis, we are working very closely with our dervishes, and we ask them politely that if someone comes to our teke, it means that, and if he is Christian, let him pray in his way, because you are not the one who can stop them. Everyone has has that freedom in our teke. So that's also, and very much is education. Now, instead of saying freedom, we say what we stop. So bad things have to be stopped. So that helps also the freedom of religion. Because if we don't use the way how to stop our kids or youth, to stop them think wrong, to stop them doing wrong, to stop them think wrong, bad about others. So that's a thing that help them tomorrow to see what is freedom. As I had the other day chance with my little boy after we finish our conference meeting with Jarek and Lucas. So Mondi, my little son, he was asking me maybe 3 hours about you, about things and how was. So that's how we have to do. So he knows that it's freedom of something, but he's too young now to understand, but he's going in a way because he had chance to meet you, and also he has memories. So freedom is very important, not to be disused. Like freedom has also responsibility. So this is how we see as a Bektashi.
Thank you very much, Arben. Wolfgang, you were next. Please unmute yourself.
Thank you very much, Arben. And for me, I have first a practical question. You know, I was with Witzke, Annelies, and I think it was your daughter, Fatima, had a workshop during your annual Unitarian meeting in Germany. It's a crossover meeting, about from 300-400 people. And we had a workshop there, and it was very interesting. It was I heard the first time in the Netherlands, 2012, about the Bektashis, and then also in Worms in 2015. Later on, I tried to contact Fatima, and there was no chance. I wanted to arrange local meetings with her or with somebody else about about your beliefs. As for some people, it's not so easy to understand. You know, I have your book here, A Light of Guidance, and well, I'm not a university type, you know. So for me, sometimes it's. But what I found out is that you are at the border of Occident and Orient. So you have a little bit of all, you know. And sometimes you try to. Bektashis believe in one God, exalted and true, and also in Muhammad. And later on it says, Bektashis believe in all the prophets, in Moses, Mary, and her son Jesus, as well as their restless servants. So, I mean, in which way do you believe in Jesus? As really as a son of God, as this is very much, this is the most division point, I mean, between Christian churches and Unitarians. Just so, that's my two remarks. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Wolfgang. Maybe we allow another question and then Arben can answer those two, because we have quite many people who want to speak and we are running out of time a bit. So maybe Mr. Sonny, if you were kind to unmute yourself.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Bitsky. Hello, Robert. Janvi, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah, जानवी मेरा क्वेश्चन है और एक सजेशन भी है. आज पूरा वर्ल्ड हमारा पैंडेमिक इस इशू से जूझ रहा है और अभी जो मैंने बातें सुनी हमारे धर्म पे बात नहीं करनी है बल्कि इस समय एज ए ह्यूमन ये एक बहुत बड़ा इशू है. और मैं अभी डेटा भी एनालिसिस कर रहा था तो बहुत सारी कंट्री सारे लगभग 213 कंट्री और टेरिटरीज में ये पैंडेमिक इशू आ गया है. तो क्या IARF या हमारे पूरे वर्ल्ड लेवल पे हमारे जितने मेंबर्स हैं ये हम देख रहे हैं कि कई कंट्री इसमें बहुत अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं. उनके अभी मैंने देखा वर्ल्डोमीटर से लगभग 50% पेशेंट्स जो है रिकवर कर चुके हैं. तो क्या पूरे वर्ल्ड लेवल पे उन देशों से हम ये ट्रीटमेंट पता कर सकते हैं कि किन देशों में सबसे जल्दी रिकवरी रेट है और वहां के डॉक्टर क्या ट्रीटमेंट दे रहे हैं जो हम पूरे वर्ल्ड वाइड कि डे 1 जब पेशेंट आए तो कैसे एडमिट करना है, देन सेकंड डे उसका क्या ट्रीटमेंट होना चाहिए, थर्ड डे तो कितने कम दिनों में हम अपनी रिकवरी करा सकते हैं और जल्दी से जल्दी हमारे पूरे वर्ल्ड लेवल पे पैरेलल ट्रीटमेंट अगर हम देकर मरीजों को ठीक कर पाए तो क्या IARF इस तरीके का कोई मुहिम पूरे वर्ल्ड लेवल पे कर सकता है, ऐसे कंट्रीज से डेटा कैलकुलेट करके पता करे और सबको बताने में मदद ताकि बाकी जगह पे भी जल्दी जल्दी रिकवरी हो जाए. इसमें हमारा IARF कुछ मदद कर सकता है. और प्लीज से हेलो टू विट्सके एंड रॉबर्ट सर.
So the question is from Manu Soni. Since considering that we are spread worldwide, we have members across the globe. We know that we are united due to this pandemic. So is it possible that we come to a consensus wherein we can share the ideas or the ways in which the people can be recovered from this pandemic situation? And if there is like people are having high numbers in few of the countries, there are few less numbers in other countries, what are the best practices they have taken in consideration to solve this pandemic? So through IARF, can we take these kind of things forward so that to help people, help them like bring them together?
Thank you very much, Mr. Sonny. Arben, would you care to respond? Maybe I have a proposition because I see that there are very many questions to Arben. Arben, would you agree that I share your email address with the participants so that if they want to ask you something or to get in touch with you, they can do it?
Yes, Lucas, it is very correct to use that chance, especially in this period that we need that more.
Yes, I will do that. And now please respond to these two remarks and then we will ask a few other people. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. So Greetings to Wolfgang. I appreciate his time that he helped a lot in work what was about Bektashi, especially when in Frankfurt, close to Frankfurt somewhere was that meeting, and also Fatima was there representing us. We need to work more closely, and we don't have, because of our Bektashis are suffering a lot in Macedonia, not only from freedom of religion, but also because of that we don't have no incomes, so we don't have enough budget to work and to do things. So this can be a good thing about budget to talk that to connect with the second question, which was from Manoj Soni. Yeah, the best and the easiest and the cheapest way to work together for conferences is the way that pandemic is giving us. So this is good thing. If from any bad things we can use this, that we can stay home, we can use Zoom, we can use different types of connections to work on together. So this is a great thing. Also, to go back to the first question of Wolfgang, about we are geographically, yes, in between of East and West. That's true. But Albania and Albanians, they have in the nation very, very big diversity of religions. There are 5 registered in Constitution of Albania, and never happened that in Albania was fight or war or anything between religions. And that is because of the culture of the ethnicity of Albanians. And usually we had always being there where are wars, war between East and West, and we are in middle. And we always use the chance to help the ones who are weak. We never, so even in Ottoman period, even that we were Muslims, we were fighting against Turks more than other Christians. And in the other side, the Christians had very difficulties to do, especially the Catholic side, because the Orthodox, they were together with the Ottoman Empire. But Albanian Bektashis have never seen that they don't belong to any of them. Why? Because our tekas were always savior places. And if you see on the last page of my book, you will see how our teka looks and what it is. About Jesus and about other prophets, in Bektashism, we don't see that prophets are different. We see they are the same person with different face and different periods. Because when they asked Prophet Muhammad, what religion you have? He said, I have religion of Jesus. What about Jesus? He said, Jesus have religion of Moses. And Moses have religion of Abraham. Abraham of Noah, Noah of Adam. So there was question, what kind of religion have Adam? He said, he have my religion. So for Bektashis, we don't see a lot on differences, but we see more on common points. So common point of every believer, if there is God or what whatever he believes. So it is more what you do, not what you know and what you say.
Okay.
About Maryam, in Quran, there is very clear that Maryam is mother of Jesus, and we have chapter for Maryam, but we don't see any differences from other Christians, because Jesus is made from word of God, or from breath of God, or from the saying be.
Thank you very much, Arben. I think those are really beautiful. This was a very beautiful way you put this, that it's not what you know or what you believe that matters most, but what you do. And it could be a kind of a motto for IARF, I believe. Okay, let's do two more people, one after the other. Emmanuel.
Yeah. Hello, Arben. I have a question. What are the challenges right now you are facing, especially in North Macedonia, where the government has refused to grant religious recognition to the Bektashi community?
Hello, Emmanuel. Okay. We are working very much on ways to find, but the politics in Macedonia are using the same way or the same formula what they have done till now. I had yesterday a conference just like today with the American ambassador of North Macedonia, and she put a Minister of Justice, the head of media, and a couple very strong NGOs, and few of religion oppositions. I'm saying oppositions, the ones who try to see their communities better than their leaders are doing. Because in North Macedonia, the biggest problem is that religion is connected with politics, and politicians are connected with religious leaders because of votes. So that is harming the situation for freedom of religion, for many things. So what I am doing, especially in this pandemic period, I'm using conferences and everything is connected. Even I have once a month conference with Ambassador Sam Brownback, who is ambassador at large in US. And there is 3 round tables around the world that I'm having every 2 weeks. And even these are things that are not helping concretely, but they are helping a lot just to keep the situation not forgettable. But that, and Macedonian politics, they didn't find a way, because they are using the chance not to register us, because they already registered someone on the period when we already was denied, but also we were in Strasbourg. So this is that 6 months before Strasbourg, the ECHR gave a note special to Macedonia that they have to recognize us.
Excuse me, Arben, just
us.
a short note for those who don't know it. ECHR stands for European Court of Human Rights.
Yes. So thank you, Luca, for giving that information. So that's why it is not easy, because we have to use sometimes diplomacy, sometimes we have to use friends, But mostly what is more important is we are not rushing to crash things. We are always there to show that we are here. We use legal remedies, and we are just, this is also something that I had to mention on what is IARF doing. I had, usually when I do STEP, I call Jutske or I call Lucas, I call people from IARF, hey, what to do in this situation. Because this is important, and I highly recommend to all of us whenever there is something for our communities that we should talk and contact each other, because I have used very positively those help from our friends from IARF. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Arben. Now, Pascal and Witske, if I may ask you to be brief, because we will be probably wrapping up in 6 minutes.
Yes. Well, it's past. I mean, the reply to my question has already been a little there. Arben was talking.
Do you have something on your mic, on your computer, maybe some papers, because you're breaking up?
Am I breaking up?
I didn't hear. I didn't understood almost nothing from.
If you
almost
could
nothing.
Briefly repeat.
I don't really, but I was fiddling with the computer itself, maybe. Yeah.
Maybe we do it as.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, it's better, I think.
Yes. Yes, much better.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I was referring to a few things that had passed after Mr. Sulejmani's question. In short, the question was that I about strategy for future disaster, and I wonder.
Can you talk a little bit slower?
Yes.
Maybe that's a way, because I'm hearing mix. I mean,
yeah.
Right.
2 years.
You talked in your initial talk. You talked about a strategy for future disaster, and of course, Mr. Sony also asked you about a strategy for present crisis. One of the possibilities you mentioned, I think, was using IARF network as a family. Also to contact IARF when in doubt. So my question was about that. What more can we do?
Yes, I think I got most of what Witske said. So
yeah.
She was referring to what Mr. Sony said about IARF possibly being able to provide some help in coordinating response to a disaster like the pandemic. And Arben, before that, you emphasized that we should see ourselves as a family and be in touch with one another. And so Witske's question was, what do you think? How can we work better? What can we do to make this possible?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Luca. Thank you for helping me also on understanding. Okay. Hello, Jutske. First of all, I will start to say that you are the hero of Bektashi's and IARF itself, because you are the one who connected things. And the answer for Mr. Sadiq, how it is concretely what we did. You was anytime open for Bektashis, and Bektashis were always open for IARF. But the mostly bigger, I mean, where was the highest quality of that connection? the highest quality of that connection was that we also physically met each other in different circumstances. We saw each other in different circumstances, and we had different types of conferences, and we used different way of meetings with international institutions, states. I mean, there was not field that we didn't pass through. Why? Because we had one hot stuff, and hot stuff was the Harabati Baba Teke and the Macedonian government who was it. But in today's situation, to answer additionally to Mr. Sadiq, yes, pandemic in any kind of way, we can help to each other, first of all, with our knowledge, with our experiences. And those experiences bringing to each other are the biggest help. Also, we need to know each other more. That's a second thing. So knowing each other doesn't need to be that we have to meet each other physically. We can meet each other in this way, and we can raise sometimes questions, and it doesn't mean that those answers will make happy us or they will give us everything. But making time by time, we will understand differences, and sometimes even with understanding differences, you understand the answers then.
Thank you very much, Arben. Pascal, we have time for one more question. Please make it short if you can.
I'll do my best. Yes, I would like to give a short feedback to you, Arben. I was really happy to meet you in Birmingham, and it was the starting point to tell about the Bektashis, to tell about them in my congregation as an example for an Islam which is celebrating with music and dancing. It was, yeah, a very important point in religious education. Maybe you know the book, Mr. Ibrahim and the Flowers of the Quran. With this book, I worked for religious education and got the Bektashi for, yeah, for example, in real life. And another way or another point is I got some friends who are Alevis, I don't know if it's right pronounced, Alevis, and especially in discussions with them, I also pronounce the Bektashi as an example which is quite similar to the Alevis, which are also a liberal Islamic stream. And so last year I tried to contact you, but it was really bad circumstances. There was the earthquake in Albania, Macedonia, and I contacted you if the Bektashis could support us for helping Turgut Öker from the Alevi European Union. And that's maybe a point now for the IARF, but we could talk later about that. And my question is, do you know the Baha'i? That's it's a religious community which quite would give the same answer as you give about Jesus, because he's not God's son, he is a prophet as Mohammed, Moses, and stuff like that. And they are talking about yeah, I don't know how, a sequence or frequent progress in religion. And that's my question to the belief of the Bektashis. Do you see it as the same way that there's a progress in yeah, in the history of religion with the different prophets which are connected to each other because of the Holy Scriptures and something like that? And yes, that's my question. I try to
Arben, before you answer, Janvi wrote me that there is a question from India. Someone sent her on the chat. So I will now read it. I think it is a very good one. So thank you, whoever asked it. What are the three main teachings of the Bektashi community one should consider in this gloomy situation?
Okay. Let me first greet Pascal, and I remember in Birmingham we had very good discussion, and we share some time together. Also, we had photo. I think that you were a good photographer too. So let me start from books. Yes, there was a good book that you read, but books are like food. People have to see the line of what kind of book they read. You cannot go straight to book. In Sufi, you cannot go to the very high book. Always you start from something very universal, or at least little thing to understand, then you go deeper and deeper. What is the difference of Bektashis and Alevis? Okay, let's say Alevis, they don't have the rule like Bektashi have, because Haji Bektash have made rules, and we call Aini Jem those rules. And Alevis is more cultural. We are more spiritual and religiously. They are more cultural. Let's say to become one dervish of Bektashi, you have to be at least 1,001 day in service, and from 1,000 people, one is the dervish. So for Alevis, it's just your will. You want to, they accept. It's more, I'm not saying that it's more quality issue, because Bektashis have very, very strict. So let's say, like, what's the difference of Haji Bektash and Rumi? So Rumi is surface of lake. You see the shine, you see whatever it, and Haji Bektash is the one you have to dive in, what's inside. I have very much seen works that have been there. I remember when you asked for Turgut Oker to help him. Turgut was president of Alevis before, but in that time it was political issue that he was in prison, and they made a little bit more internationally as a problem that we also showed, because we would show that not only for Turgut, for anyone who has problems because of his belief. About Baha'i, they are a little bit different from other religions because they have their own prophet. So the Muslims and the Quran says that last prophet is Muhammad. So they don't see that. And Baha'i, I have seen Baha'i in Haifa. I have met Baha'i people in India and also in US. So they are very strong. About Son of God, that I said that we don't see him as Son of God. No, we see that all of us, we are sons of God. God made us. So if God made us, it means that we are sons of God. We don't see that as a crash between Muslims and Christians when they say, no, Muslims, you can't say that God have son. I don't think that any Christian thinks that God is physical father of Jesus. Everyone see that breath. Because in Quran it says that Jesus was from breath of God. About progress of that, how we can do that. The progress goes always when we have will. If we have goodwill, everything gonna be. Nothing can stop us. We have to continue. We know that our way is not easy because we have problems, we have traps, we have this, but always we can pass them because of our wisdom, because of our knowledge, and because of The most specific question that I have to answer now is the question from India, because I was not prepared mentally to answer this question, but I will just answer to you very Bektashi way. How Bektashi is telling us. Usually every Baba is teaching us the very important first thing is be like our others. Continue with the situation how it is. Receive it as a normal. Try to make it better and easier. In difficulties, there is always good side because that's a challenge to see can you do. So long as that you are working on, long as that you are strong enough to face and to pass through, that makes you to understand that you are stronger and you go on next stage, next step. So if you don't have those difficulties, you wouldn't go on next step and next stage. In this pandemic, it is easier for Bektashis because we are more spiritual. And it is hard because sometimes physically we cannot be to each other. But as Haji Bektash said, if you are on the other side of the world, let me just, somebody went to see Haji Bektash and he said, Haji Bektash, I came to see you 3 times and I didn't find you. Thanks God, this time I found you. And the answer of Haji Bektash was, if you are with me, even if you are on end of the world, you are very close to me. And if you are not with me, that means that even if you are in same table with me, you are far, same like you are on the other side of the world. So nothing can stop our thought, nothing can stop our love, nothing can stop our understanding. And if we have the same goal, that means that wherever you are, our energy, our thoughts, our things will be connected. And we are connected, same like we are here and same like we are today. So we are always very much interested to see the world in the way how it is, not in the way how we want. We will do enough to change it in better how we think that is better. And that is that raising a competition of many people who are doing good things. So we are that part. I believe that this situation was, I'm just, you just put me in something very spiritual. Every dervish, when he becomes Baba, and every Baba, when he becomes something higher, what we say Halife, he is making Chile. And Chile means 40 days he's staying under a very small place. Even that's like to stay under the steps or stairs, how you say, and it's a small place for 40 days with no food, no drink, nothing, just a little bit to have, just to survive, with no talk for 40 days. So now they say that quarantine means it comes from number 40. So every dervish had passed, if they are going in higher level, when we say 4th gate, they have to have this quarantine. So we are used to it because each of them, they have to pass through quarantine. So it's not something that it hasn't been. We had made quarantine even with our with entities goodwill. If someone wanted, it's not that he's obliged. So that's why we say die before you die. I think that I gave you a couple things on how we see the pandemic or this situation.
Yes, certainly you did, Arben. Thank you very much. It was exceptionally inspirational, and well, I think I speak for everyone when I say that you gave us a lot to think about, and hopefully we will continue this exchange that you emphasized so much today, so that we all can get to know each other better and work together even more closely. Thank you everyone who's been with us for this hour and a half, a bit longer than we anticipated, but thank you everyone who asked questions. And please, if you have 2-3 minutes to spare, go to our website irf.net/poll. It's irf.net/poll, and fill in a short survey to tell us what we can improve in these meetings. Give us your email so that we can stay in touch, and maybe a few ideas about future topics. Thank you very much.
Will do.